First move,
Multiply the second by -2.
I can multiply the second by -2. I can multiply the second by -3. Either way, I'm going to get rid of an x or a y. So why don't we multiply this one by -2? All right, I'm going to rewrite the first one. Distribute your -2. Negative 650.
05. 50.
X's are gone. And that's the nice convenient one here because how many y's are we left with? 1y equals 51. All right, a little extra help now. How can I get the x value? Doesn't matter which one. Nope, pick whichever one you want to substitute 51 in for. Probably the second one, right? And go ahead and move the 51 over. What are we looking at for x? 274, all right? A little old school way of doing that. Any issues? What's the deal?
Wouldn't it be 76?
Is it
I get 76.
274? You got to add 51 and you get 325.
Okay.
Right? 5 minus 1 is 4.
Okay.
Okay, all good? We ready to go? All right, now how do I do it using a matrix now? First thing, build your matrix. You know how to do that. Build your matrix from the two equations. 2, 3, vertical bar, 701. 1, 1, 325. Here's your goal. Here's where I need your help today. Make that matrix look like this. 1, 0 in the first column, 0, 1 in the second column, and then over here should be our answers at the end. Should be. All right? Yeah. Here's why I need it to look like this and nothing else. What's this variable right here? That's your x, right? That's your y. There is no y. So this would tell me x equals whatever this number is. What's this variable here? So I'm going to get y equals whatever number's here. That's why I need it to look like this and this only. 1, 0, 0, 1. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, first step. Let's get a 1 in the top left. Take a look at my matrix. How can I get a 1 in the top left? And let's review your rules. You can only multiply by a number that's not 0. You can flip-flop rows, or you can multiply a row by a number and add it to another. That's only the 3 things you're allowed to do. Molly, question?
Yeah. Why do we solve for x and y first? Like, where are we going to use that?
What do you mean?
Solve
Up
this,
top?
Yeah.
I just want you to see what the answers are. Because hopefully if we do this right, we should also get 51 and 274 out.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Sarah?
Can you flip the rows to get that one?
Is everyone all right if we flip-flop rows 1 and 2? I don't have to do any calculations. And I'll get a 1 in the top left corner. All right, so let's do that. Hey, anybody else have another thought? Because there is another way.
Yeah.
Multiply row 1 by a half.
0.
You can't multiply by 0. You cannot multiply by any number but not 0. Okay? So we got to do row 1, flip it with row 2. Show me right on this arrow what you're doing. Rewrite your new matrix. This is why we just spent the last 3 class days working on this. Flip them. Now get the 0 underneath. I need 1, 0 first in my first column. Get 1, 0. I got the 1. Now I need to change this 2 into a 0. It's going to be the same thing every time. What do you have to add to 2 to get 0?
Negative
-2. Where the heck do I magically get this -2 from? Row 1. You can multiply row 1 by anything you need to add on. All right? No, I don't want to multiply row 2 because now I'm not changing this into a 0. So I'm going to take, again, go here with me. What do you need to add on to row 2 to make this onto a 0? -2. So that tells me I'm going to multiply row 1 by -2.
Can we only do that with row 1?
Yeah, like why can't you just do
multiply the -2 from row 1? Like let's say.
Well, what other? There's no other rows though. You know what I'm saying?
If there was,
Go back to row 1. And the reason why, Molly, I want you to go back to row 1. There's a 1 here already.
Okay.
Whatever you want to multiply by, you're going to get it back because there's a 1 here. Okay?
Yeah.
Row 1, not changing, correct?
Yeah.
I'm only changing row 2. So 1, 1, 3, 2, 5. 0. Boom. What about the rest of it now? And don't make this difficult. This is what we've been doing here the last couple days, is just taking row 1 times -2 and adding it to row 2. So what's my next number I should get in here? I should get -2 times 1 plus 3, which gives you a 1. -2 times 325 plus 701. I probably should have one more step here. Oh, ready? I got my 1, 0. I got a 1 here already. I need to change this 1 right here into a 0. Okay, I need to change it into a 0 somehow. Thoughts on how? I can't multiply it by 0. That's out. What can I do here? What would you have to add to 1 to get 0? -1. Where can you get the -1 from? A new row right here. Multiply this row by -1. Let me recap here because there's a lot of voices going on here. This one needs to turn into a 0, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that means I got to add what onto it? A -1. Where the heck can I get a -1 from? Well, let's go to the other row. What can I multiply this row by to get to a -1? -1. Okay, that's why the 1s are here on purpose, for you to multiply by whatever you need.
So it's -1 row 2 plus row 1.
Correct.
But then aren't you supposed to have, isn't that going to make the first one -1?
No, watch. -1 times row 1 plus
Oh.
-1 times row 2 plus row 1. Row 2 stays the same, 0, 1, 51. Watch how this will not affect anything. -1 times 0. 0 plus 1. Oh, guess what stayed a 1? Right there. Doesn't affect it at all.
1, 0.
Now what's going to be my next number here?
0.
0, which is what I wanted. And here comes the answer for x. -51 plus 325, 274. X equals 274. Y equals 51. And I know the very first thing that's going to come up, what's the problem with just doing it the old way? Which is, I get it, that's fine. But on Thursday, we're going to be doing 3 variables, 3 equations. And let's be honest with each other. That's not our strong suit. Trying to solve those by hand. All right, so maybe matrices makes it a little easier once we get better at this. All right, so that's the goal on Thursday. 2 more. That's all I got for you. 2 more. No, it doesn't. Not in the least bit.
Yeah, I mean, like writing out the different steps that we're doing. Like it's. I wrote flip flop instead of writing. It's better.
It's the same. But you'll see, Maddie. It's the same sequence every time. Take row 1, multiply it by something. Take row 2, multiply it by something. Here we go. Number 1, build it. What's going to be in row 1? 1, -1, 2,
4, -8.
4, -8, 0. Build it. And you're welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
What's already there?
0.
The 1. 1's already there. You don't have to figure out how to get a 1 in the top left.
1, 0, 0, 1.
Always. 1, 0, 0, 1.
0, 0.
And then Thursday will be 0, 0, 1 at the end.
So is it helpful if we solve for x and y in the beginning?
No, I don't want you to.
Because then you
Well,
know.
you could do it as a check,
Yeah, that's
but on Friday's quiz, it's got to be done this way. You can't just resort back to the old school method.
right, but
You can check it that way. Yeah,
So it goes
absolutely.
1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1.
1, 0, 0, 1. That's all you got to remember for now.
It's the opposite. So if you know 1, 0, just flip it. Well, yeah, but then I'm
All right, here we go. I got the 1. What number needs to become a 0 now? What number in my matrix do I need to turn into a 0 at this point in the process? The 4. The 4's got to turn into a 0. All right, here we go. Ready? What the heck do you have to add to 4 to get 0?
Negative.
And where do I get that -4 from?
Row 1.
Row 1. It's the same process every time. -4, row 1, add it to row 2. Don't touch row 1. Row 2, I know I got the 0 there and some new numbers. Let's see, what's that? 4 plus -8. I should have what, -4 here? And then let's see, what do I have here? -8. How's that look?
Really good.
Any issues? All right, what number do I have to change now, and what's it got to change into? No. I do all the 1s first. I do get my 1 zeros in the row, and then I go to the next one. I got to get a 1.
0.
So this -4 needs to change into a 1 now.
Why do you do it that way?
You could try to change this into a 0, but here's the thing. Here's why I'm doing it this way. You see this 1 0 we just worked our tail off for? Keep it 1 0. Why are you going to change it with a rule and make it into a 3 2? Now I'm starting all over again. All right? And getting more confused. Once I have 1 0, leave it 1 0. It should never change. Good? So now I'm going to work on getting this to be a 1. Make it easy on yourself. If you want something to become a 1, multiply it by its reciprocal. Correct. So what am I just going to multiply row 2 by? Flip it. Flip it. I just said flip it, not change the sign.
1/4. -1/4.
Negative 1/4 row 2. That's how you always can get a 1. Is multiply that row by the reciprocal. I'll do it down here. Zero, 1. What do you got there for -8?
2, 12. Sorry.
Any issues? Do you see what we need to change now? What do I need to change now? What do I need to change up here?
-1.
This -1's got to change to a 0. Come on, ready? Come on. What do you got to add to it then?
1.
1. Where do you get that 1
Row
from?
2.
The other row.
So
Right?
you do
And now there's no need to multiply by anything, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to be row 2 plus row 1. Or if you want to think about it, multiply row 2 by 1. But do you see why the 1s are now important where they are?
Yeah.
And why I like to start with the 1 every time.
Okay. So you start with the
And what's this number going to be up here? This one up here? 4? Yes? 2 plus 2? So this system, x equals
4.
4, y equals 2. And I'm just thinking about what you asked before, Molly. You don't need to go back and solve it. Just take these and plug them back in. Make sure they work in both.
Okay.
Don't even worry about solving it old school way.
Why wouldn't that one on the top? I'm confused.
Okay, come on, you got it. Where are we here? I got a lot of numbers up on the board.
I thought that if we're adding like R2 and R1.
Yeah. That means I replace row 1.
Well, I know that, but I'm confused how you get the negative 1.
1
because-
plus negative 1 is 0. Replace it in row 1.
Oh, that okay.
2
Never
plus
mind.
2, 4. Replace it in row 1.
Oh, okay. I just got confused.
We good?
1 times. Yeah.
Some of you guys start in the next one. Work harder, not smarter. Sorry, work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. Be careful before you set that up. This next one. Why am I saying work smarter, not harder? Instead of writing down a whole new matrix, why don't we just switch it right now? Because I know the 1's going to be on top, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't see that, that's fine. You're just going to have to add in an extra matrix that says, hey, I'm flip-flopping the rows.
Wait, you can just start off like that. You don't have to.
Well, think about it. Ava, if I had typed this differently and put that one on top, same exact problem, right?
Slay. Girl, not that loud.
Yeah.
You literally does. I can't hear other people do that.
What number do we have to change?
The 3.
Into a? I got it. What do I got? Into a 0. So what do I add to it? Negative 3. Where do I get the negative 3 from?
Row 1.
Row 1.
So -3.
Negative 3 times row 1 plus row 2. We're picking that up. And remember, my only concern is changing the 3 into a 0. I don't care what the 4 and the 5 change into at this point. That's not my concern. So we got negative 2 and 2. All right. Are we all good? Again, I only want the 3 turned into a 0. I don't care what the 4 and the 5 turn into. All right, what number do I want to change now?
2. 2.
I already got 1, 0. Done. Column 1's done.
negative 2,
Done.
negative 2.
So now I need a 1 again, right?
Negative
So where do I need a 1? Where 1 is right now? Negative 2. I need the negative 2 to turn into a 1.
You can add the 2.
Oh, stop. I'm trying to stay away from the whole adding thing. If I need a 1, what do you always multiply by?
1.
The reciprocal. All right? So what's the reciprocal of negative 2?
Negative 1/2.
Times row 2. Okay, if you ever need a 1, make it easy. Just multiply a row by the reciprocal.
Oh, so the zeros are the only ones that.
Because the 0 is going to stay a 0. You want your 1 and 0 to stay 1 and 0 all the time. And then we get there, negative 1 here.
Yeah.
And then you have one more step. What number's got to get changed? The 2 into a?
0.
Think about it. What do you have to add on to 2 to make it into a 0? A negative 2. Where do I get that negative 2 from? Row 2.
Oh.
And look, that 1 stays a 1. That turns into 0. How do I get there?
2 plus 3. 3.
X equals 3, y equals
That actually makes sense now.
Practice makes perfect.
No, I mean like why we do zeros and ones.
And not to, look, not to go too deep here, but what you're doing here is exactly what you would have done if I let you solve it old school. Look, multiply one of the equations by -3 and add it to the other. That's what you probably would have done. And that's what we're doing here. So, all right, you got a couple practice problems tomorrow. And then Thursday, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a couple years. So, but I think you guys can handle it.
How do you do that? Yeah, but you're arguing that. It's because your arms are back.